let's assess this damage a little better. All right, I've got a crinkle in this fender. Right, I could probably try to straighten that out a little bit and put it back on, and that fender could be salvageable, but it's never going to be right without having a fender. That side's pretty well straight though, except whenever we come in here, we see this core support is cracked and crinkled. This has, like, it looks plastic, but it's got like a metal base to it, and it's magnetic, if I believe my memory. Let's look at this thing, how it's twisted. See how the bolts are stressed from impact, and there's a big gap right here. Chances are I might have to bang that in with a hammer. Now, this is the tweaked side. Took the impact right here, crinkled this frame. Right here, it's pushed in. You see how on this side, it's just a nice smooth transition. This is a crumple zone, but the biggest crumple zone is the aluminum bumper inserts down here, and we'll get there once we take the bumper off. So this is the bumper cover, and then the actual bumper is this part right here. So this is all pushed in, but this other headlight right here, aiming this way and crooked. It's cross-eyed and blind in the other eye. So yeah, we have a tab right here, but this tab is twisted. That tab really doesn't do a whole lot anyway. You see how flimsy it is. The main tabs are down here, and that one looks like it's just pulled out, and this one is broken for sure. So, but it might be able to be salvaged with just one tab broken. So let's just start taking this thing apart. I got to take the hood off, both fenders, basically the whole core support and everything. Got to take the whole doghouse off. So let's just get started. I usually like to take it off in stages. So we got these bolts right here, and those are right under here, 13 millimeter. And then I pulled the wiring off already, just disconnected it from the AC switch. And sometimes, especially if it's been in a wreck, you might need to put a pry bar in there and pull it out. In this particular case, I got a pry bar right here. It's not necessarily a long one, but I can do the little tweak right here, which you put the bolts in and it sandwiches it back. Maybe I can get it just with the one side. I certainly can't. This whole thing is pushed over. These perches are gonna have to be replaced anyway, because they're bent sideways. You see that? I can use the leverage now, and then I can just, this is all broken. Now with this bumper support removed, you can see I'm looking at it dead straight on. And this snout looks fairly straight. This one's torqued pretty gnarly to the driver's side there. It was put back together at some point with one less bolt right here and one less bolt right there. So those snouts were put on with 2 bolts, which isn't necessarily a problem. It just, it was gonna get bent anyway. These are the crumple zones, and it pushed over. But now I just need to take all this apart and see if any of that plastic is broken, other than what I already pointed out. So I know this piece is broken and needs replaced, the headlight support. Now I'm just looking at the headlight itself. So now that I'm looking at it from this side, I can see that typically these are pointed out a little bit, like that one on the driver's side would point out this way, and this one on the passenger side would point out this way. This one is bent to where it almost looks straight, and then that one is bent way far out this way. So now that I'm looking at it, and I can tell this whole core support is tweaked this way. And then we look at it here from the back side, and I can just tell that this bolt is tweaked this way, and this whole ear is pulled in like this. And then we come over here, and this whole thing is separated right here and pushed out this way. So I have to take this whole core support apart and have to see how badly bent it is. So that means I have to drain. I've got the condenser to the side. I've got an AC machine, so I could have done it properly. This is still fine. I just took it to the side. I just can't step on it or bend it or anything like that. I have to be careful with it laying to the side. This I have to drain the coolant, and then I have to take this out, and then this whole dealio, this whole core support has to come out, and then it's just the engine sitting there. So let's get to it. It's definitely way out. It's got these little pins. You just pop these out right here, and then a T30 on the bottom, and these swivel out. So, but I didn't disconnect my pipes yet, so I just gotta pop this radiator out. Oh yeah, I like to clamp my hoses for the cooler lines on the transmission before I pop them off, because they go in right here, the 10 millimeters. There's a 10 millimeter right here, and you just got to kind of wiggle and pull. And then these are fairly easy. You just get something in here, and preferably don't lose them. Flathead screwdriver is not the best option most of the time. Maybe a right angle pick. So, you know, pop these off, and y'all want to see it. Let me mount the camera real quick. This thing is definitely mangled. Let's go ahead and see if we can zip it off. Okay, I got the rough fit, so now whenever it goes back together, everything is gonna have to be tightened very equally all the way across in sequence. Now I just gotta look at this ear over here that's bent. Okay, I'm gonna test fit that. So I got the fenders in the bumper off so we can take a better look at what's going on and what's broken. Well, check out this headlight. Oh. Support completely broken. Oh, the whole thing. The whole housing. Completely schmammered. This little mount right here, completely gone. Luckily, the tabs on the radiator are still intact, and the radiator and the condenser look straight enough to be saved. This looks bent and pushed, but this bracket looks good. Everything over here looks good except it's busted over here. So, and it's pushed and twisted, so it's gonna have to be evaluated once it's taken apart. But let's go to the next steps. I don't really feel like hearing anything about jack stands because I'm not going to be underneath the car in this situation. I did just jack it up in the middle underneath